1963. A kitchen in suburban New Jersey. A woman is standing at the sink with a glass pitcher of warm water and a splash of white distilled vinegar. She pours it slowly over her daughter's freshly washed hair. The smell is sharp for 30 seconds. Then it is gone. The hair dries with a shine that no product in the next 60 years will quite manage to replicate. You have 5 bottles of dry shampoo, a $40 volumizing mousse, and hair that falls flat by noon. Nobody taught you what she knew because what she knew could not be sold. 15 tricks from the Kennedy era to Woodstock. Each one quietly retired the moment someone figured out it could be split into 12 products at $15 each. Number 6 is the vinegar trick she used every single wash day. Number 1 is why her hair looked the same on Friday as it did on Monday. This is that channel. Let's get into it. Number 15. The once-a-week wash. In 1963, most American women washed their hair once a week. That was not poverty. That was knowledge. She washed on Friday night or Saturday morning. Breck shampoo, 25 cents a bottle, the famous painted Breck girl on every label. Or Prel, the concentrated green gel that Procter & Gamble launched for 35 cents. 1 lather, warm water rinse, 1 final cool rinse. Done. A scalp washed once a week trains itself to produce oil at a slower rate. A scalp washed daily overproduces in response to constant stripping, a cycle the shampoo industry invented and then sold products to manage. Her hair held a set for 7 full days. That was not luck. That was chemistry, working the way it was always supposed to. Number 14. Chamomile tea rinse for blondes. Fair-haired women brewed a strong pot of chamomile tea, let it cool completely, and poured it through their hair as a final rinse after washing. They did not rinse it out. A handful of dried chamomile flowers from the pharmacy cost 10 cents in 1962. They boiled them for 10 minutes in a small saucepan, then strained the tea into a mason jar. They poured it slowly over clean hair at the sink. The faint smell of apples and honey settled into the strands. When used every wash day for a month, the color lifted, a shade warmer, a shade brighter, without a single drop of peroxide. The salon highlight she now pays $85 every 6 weeks is doing what that saucepan did in 1962. Nobody could patent a chamomile flower. That was the problem. Number 13. Frozen orange juice concentrate came in cardboard cylinders, Minute Maid and Tropicana. When the concentrate was used, women washed the can, cut both metal ends away, and used the tube as a jumbo roller. A standard brush roller gave a medium curl. The orange juice gave lift at the root and body at the crown that no store-bought roller matched. Because no store-bought roller was that large. Hair was wound around the can while damp, pinned in place, and slept on overnight. She unwound the can in the morning, and the hair fell free in a soft wave that held from the crown. It was the kind of volume Manhattan salons charged $30 to produce. The can cost nothing. It was already in the trash. 12. In 1965, Gillette launched Dippity-Do, a pink or green gel in a wide-mouthed jar that smelled faintly of artificial roses. It cost 49 cents. It changed how American women set their hair. A fingertip of gel worked into each dampened section before rolling. The hair went on the roller damp and gelled. It came off in the morning set in soft waves rather than stiff ridges. She kept the jar on the vanity. The lid snapped shut with a satisfying click. That price lasted 3 months. The volumizing mousse that replaced it in the 1980s cost $8, lasted 3 weeks, and delivered less hold. 11. Alberto Culver launched VO5 conditioning hairdressing in 1955, but it was the 1960s housewife who turned it into the at-home hot oil treatment that salons charged $4 to perform. She squeezed a small amount of VO5 into a metal spoon and held it briefly over the gas burner until it was warm. She worked it through dry hair from mid-length to the ends. She covered her head with a warm, damp towel wrung from the bathroom sink. She left it 20 minutes while she read Life magazine. When she rinsed, her hair fell differently, heavier, smoother, the strands moving together instead of fraying apart. VO5 cost 60 cents a tube in 1965. The salon treatment that delivers the same result today costs $40 and up. Number 10. The egg yolk pre-wash. Before shampooing, she separated 2 eggs and beat the yolks in a teacup. She worked the beaten yolk through dry hair from scalp to ends. She left it 15 minutes. She rinsed with cool water. Never warm, never hot. Then she shampooed as usual. The egg did what a $25 salon protein treatment promises today, and it came from the refrigerator, which was never out of stock. A daughter sat at the kitchen table doing homework, while her mother stood at the sink with egg in her hair waiting for the timer. She thought nothing of it. It was Tuesday. Number 9, lemon juice in the California sun. Girls in Southern California sat on the back porch in July 1962 with lemon juice combed through their hair, waiting for the afternoon sun. By the time the streetlights came on, their hair had streaks of gold that looked like they had always been there. Half a lemon squeezed into a glass of water. A wide-toothed comb drawn through, section by section. 40 minutes in the sun, reading 17 magazine, painting toenails. Citric acid, in the presence of ultraviolet light, oxidizes melanin in the hair shaft, the same mechanism bleach performs, without the damage. The Gidget films popularized the look. Lemons cost a nickel. Nobody called it a highlight. They called it summer. She held a section of hair straight up from the crown, placed a rat tail comb 2 inches from the scalp, and pushed 3 quick strokes downward toward the root. The hair compacted into a soft cushion at the base. She smoothed the top layer over it. This is the technique behind every bouffant and every beehive of the 1960s. Jackie Kennedy's hairdresser, Kenneth, used it. Priscilla Presley's hair at Graceland was built on it. The beauty school curriculum of 1963 taught it in the first week. A rat tail comb from the dime store, 10 cents. 2 minutes at the bathroom mirror. Volume that held through the afternoon without a root-lifting mousse or a can of anything. The volume came from the wrist, not the wallet. If there is a woman in your life who spends 20 minutes every morning fighting flat hair and losing, a daughter, a sister, a friend, hit the like button right now. 1 second. It gets this video in front of her. She needs this more than she knows. Then stay, because number 1 is the trick that cost nothing and gave women hair that lasted the entire week. Number 7, the large roller set overnight. In 1963, the blow dryer was still a salon luxury. So she set her hair on large brush rollers every night and let it dry while she slept. Large rollers, not small pin curl rollers. The kind that created lift at the crown and body through the length. They were wound on slightly damp hair. A plastic pick was inserted at the base of each roller to preserve the lift away from the scalp. Then a hair net covered the whole arrangement. By morning, the set was complete. She removed the rollers, the hair springing free in a soft wave. She brushed lightly, backcombed the crown, and applied 1 short burst of Aqua Net from 6 inches away. The style lasted 3 days, no cord, no plug, no 20-minute blow dry. She went to sleep and woke up done. Number 6, the white vinegar rinse. Every wash day, before she set her hair, she did one thing the beauty industry never wanted to put in a bottle. She poured white distilled vinegar through her hair. 1 tablespoon of plain white vinegar, Heinz, 14 cents a bottle in 1963, stirred into a glass of warm water. It was poured slowly over freshly washed hair, worked through with her fingers, and not rinsed out. The smell was sharp for 60 seconds, then completely gone. What remained was shine, the kind that comes from a cuticle lying completely flat, reflecting light like a single surface. And something else, a week of Aqua Net, cornstarch, and setting lotion, dissolved and gone. The hair was clean in a way that shampoo alone could not accomplish. Shampoo cleaned the hair but left the pH alkaline. The vinegar restored it. Modern trichologists call this pH balancing. She called it Wash Day. The bottle lasted 4 months and cost 14 cents. The clarifying treatment her salon now offers costs $18 and does the same thing. Number 5. Mayonnaise Deep Conditioning. A generous scoop of Hellmann's real mayonnaise, 39 cents a jar in 1963, worked through the mid-lengths and ends, a warm, damp towel wrapped around the head. 20 minutes in the kitchen, then rinsed, shampooed, and set. 3 conditioning agents in one application: egg yolk for protein and lecithin, oil for lipid replenishment, and vinegar for a mild acid treatment that began closing the cuticle while the other components worked. Women shared this trick the way they shared recipes, with handwritten notes tucked into kitchen drawers next to food. The jar sat next to the mustard in the refrigerator. She used it for sandwiches and for her hair, and felt no contradiction in that. Number 4. Every night she tied a square of silk or satin over her set hair, folded into a triangle, placed over the crown, and tied once at the nape. The soft slide of silk against the cotton pillowcase. In the morning, 1 gentle removal and 2 passes with a brush. A scarf from the notions counter at Woolworth's, 25 cents. It protected the set through 8 hours of sleep. The curls held, and the volume at the roots was still there in the morning because nothing had pressed it flat in the night. Not an $80 silk bonnet from an Instagram advertisement, a scarf from Woolworth's. She did not think of it as a beauty product. She thought of it as getting dressed for tomorrow. Number 3. Scalp massage with castor oil. Once a week, before washing, she poured a small amount of castor oil onto her fingertips and massaged it into her scalp in slow circles, from the hairline toward the crown. 5 minutes. Then a plastic shower cap over the whole arrangement, and she went back to the kitchen, ironing a shirt, or watching Perry Mason, or sitting with a cup of tea until the 10 o'clock news came on. Women who did this for a month reported less hair in the drain, fewer strands on the pillow. The scalp had what it needed, and it stopped asking. A small bottle cost 30 cents in 1963 at the pharmacy counter, 2 aisles from the shampoo. It sat on the shelf for a year. It never ran out fast enough to notice. Number 2, Aqua Net and the 6-inch rule. Aqua Net Extra Hold launched in 1955, and by 1963 it was in every American bathroom. The iconic pink can, the particular hiss of the aerosol, the faint sweetness in the air, what the hairdressers who trained their clients knew and what the television commercials never mentioned was that Aqua Net applied correctly and applied incorrectly were 2 entirely different products. Correctly. Hold it 6 inches from the hair, 1 short burst aimed at the crown and the perimeter. The spray settled into a fine mist that locked the style without stiffening it. The hair moved. It held. Incorrectly, 4 inches away, continuous spray, the whole can in a week. A helmet, not a hairstyle. She used 1 can a month, applied it like punctuation at the end of a sentence, not instead of 1. Number 1, the weekly set philosophy. This is not a product. It is the reason every other trick on this list worked. On Saturday morning, she sat at the vanity and set her hair. The whole head. Rollers, Dippity-Do, backcombing at the crown, vinegar rinse, scarf for the night. 1 hour. Then she did not do it again until the following weekend. On Monday, the set. On Wednesday, cornstarch at the roots and 1 short burst of Aqua Net. On Friday, still holding. The blow dryer sold her something called freedom. What it delivered was the obligation to decide every morning and the products to manage the damage the equipment caused. She decided once. She wore it all week. That was the system. 1 pitcher of warm water, 14 cents of vinegar, an orange juice can from the recycling bin, a scarf from Woolworth's, a jar with a lid that snapped shut. None of it was complicated, none of it was expensive. It just required someone to teach you. Somewhere along the way, that someone stopped being asked. Before you go, I want to know if there was a woman in your life who did any of this. Your mother, your grandmother, an aunt who always had perfect hair on Sunday. Tell me which one she used. If this video found you at the right moment, hit subscribe. No algorithm decided you needed to see this. You found it. The next one will find you too. I'll see you there.